All right, welcome to class. If you can see this video, then you are currently enrolled in POLS 1113, Section 001R. That's the online section of American federal government. My name is Ken Hicks, and American federal government is part of Rogers State University's general education requirements. So why is American federal government required? First of all, most of you are not likely to become political scientists. But you are most likely to become citizens of the United States and of Oklahoma or one of the other 49 states of the Union. As such, you stand to benefit from understanding the nature of our government and how it works. This course is also part of the general education curriculum because it will expose you to a knowledge set, an approach to knowledge that's different from the degree that you're likely to pursue or the discipline that you're likely to pursue. And in that sense, taking this course seriously will deepen your understanding of the world around you and provide you with a more solid grounding as a citizen. Briefly, American federal government is Citizenship 101. The idea behind it is that if you know how the government works and you know what your rights are, you'll be more likely to be an informed and active citizen. And you're more likely also to be a more reasonable citizen. Once you've worked your way through this course, here's what we expect you to know. You should know how American democracy or American republicanism works, as well as understanding the major political institutions of our constitutional system. You should be able to analyze major political trends, events, and personalities. You should be able to evaluate political systems and processes. And you should be able to demonstrate an understanding of American history and major trends of family, education, politics, economics, and/or religious institutions. There is one text required for the course, and that is Benjamin Ginsberg, Theodore Lowy, Margaret Ware, and Robert Spitzer's book published by W.W. Norton, We the People. Additional readings, some required and some recommended, are located on the Course Resources tab of the taskbar and are available throughout the semester. As for the course requirements, there are 1,000 points distributed relatively evenly into four broad categories of assignments. Forums are number one. They're worth 320 points, and they'll be a weekly assignment. I will post weekly instructions for participation in the forums, which substitute for classroom discussion. Each weekly forum is worth 20 points. In order to earn full credit, you need to make an initial post of at least 75 words by Tuesday of the relevant week. And that post needs to demonstrate that you've read that week's assigned material and are at least trying to understand it. Then you need to make at least 4 posts in excess of 50 words each. And you need to make posts on a majority of the days of the week in order, in the week that the forum is up. And that lasts basically from Sunday to Sunday in order to earn full credit. That means you can't plug in on the last day of the forum, make 4 posts, and expect to earn full credit. I call that parachuting. You need to actually post over the course of the week. There are 2 basic kinds of posts. The initial summary post, again, is basically saying you need to do something to demonstrate to me that you've read the material. That means you could provide a brief summary. You could tell me something about the assigned reading that in your view is most important. Or you can post questions that are provoked by reading the material, especially if you find some aspect of our government or the policies that we're covering that week difficult or confusing. Your remaining reply posts should be interactive in nature. In other words, you should be engaging with one another in a discussion of the material. What I don't want to see are a bunch of mutually congratulatory statements like, "Wow, what a great post, Skyla. I have never thought of this issue that way." Those kinds of posts really are not informative, and they're really not demonstrating that you're learning anything other than how to schmooze one another. I call that fluff. You need to engage with one another and even disagree, albeit respectfully. So remember, at least 1 summary post by Tuesday of the week, and then at least 4 other posts distributed over the course of the week. And that's worth, again, 20 points each week. Okay. Weekly quizzes are also worth 320 points. Each week you'll be responsible for taking a quiz that will be due, at midnight of that Sunday. Again, you'll see a number of questions drawn from a larger universe of multiple choice questions. with options that are also randomized. Each quiz will be timed for 45 minutes, and they are also worth 20 points. Most of the questions will be multiple choice, each worth 1 point. One concept identification or short answer question is also worth another 5 points. Concept ID basically requires students to define and explain the significance of a concept for understanding American government. For example, federalism would be defined as a system of government in which sovereignty is divided between a national government and smaller subunits, which we call states, but in other places the Germans call them Länder or something like that. So that would be the definition. And then for significance, students could note that the United States Constitution established a federal system of government with some powers enumerated to the federal government, like national defense, some powers concurrent or shared, i.e. the power to tax, and some powers reserved to the states, such as establishing local governments. There are also 3 examinations that are worth 100 points each. Each examination will cover a unit or combination of chapters in detail. Unit 1 covers chapters 1 through 3 plus chapter 15 on state and local government. Unit 2 is devoted to chapters 4 through 8, and Unit 3 consists of chapters 9 through 14. Each examination consists of 5 or 6 randomly selected multiple choice questions from each chapter, and then a combined concept identification chapter that covers material from all of the chapters, all the relevant chapters, that'll be worth 30 points, and then a short answer section worth 40 points. Students will have 2 hours to complete each examination. Short writing assignments are worth 60 points. They require students to read an assigned article or something, something that will be reading relevant, that will be posted in the course resources section. And then you're going to write a 3 to 5 page essay on the topic. I am not trying to program you, but what I am trying to get you to do is think critically and creatively about the challenges, first, of being a U.S. citizen, and secondly, about the difficulties inherent in governing such a large and diverse nation. Each writing assignment is worth 30 points, and there will be instructions with guided questions for each assignment, which again, they're due on weeks 7 and 15, I believe, in the syllabus. Extra credit is available up to 100 points. Generally speaking, if you think you're not doing as well as you would like to do, or you just want some insurance, you'll want to let me know at some point, and I will assign you an article to read. And again, you can do an additional assignment, and if you do a couple of those, you can earn up to 100 points. Late assignments, I'm generally pretty lenient about accepting late work, but I'm going to penalize for lateness, especially if it's becoming habitual. You'll typically only receive partial credit for a late assignment. If you alert me ahead of time that you're having difficulty getting an assignment completed on time, I'm generally going to be a lot more forgiving, and will subsequently penalize less or not at all, depending on my mood. With regard to deadlines, this is a week-to-week course, and if you respect the deadlines will respect you. Getting work in on time is one of the more important indicators we professors use as evidence of students' level of commitment to doing well. My grading policy, I'm generally regarded as a tough A and a relatively easy C. I want students to earn their grades, but I'm also pretty soft-hearted towards students that don't particularly perform well in the course, that they don't come alive dealing with American government. I understand that tendency. The academic misconduct policy can be found at the top on page 5 of the course syllabus, and I can summarize that policy by saying, don't cheat, it's bad. Students with disabilities, I'm just going to read this from the syllabus. Rogers State University is committed to providing students with disabilities equal access to educational programs and services. Any student who has a disability that he or she believes will require some form of academic accommodation must inform the professor of such need during or immediately following the first class attended. Before any educational accommodation can be provided, it is the responsibility of each student to provide eligibility for assistance by registering for services through Student Affairs. Students needing more information about the Student Disability Service should contact the Coordinator of Student Disability Services at Rogers State University, which can be found at the Carolyn Taylor Center. The number for that is 918-343-6828. A note on my teaching philosophy real quick. I believe in the Socratic method, which involves asking questions to facilitate a wide-ranging discussion of the material on which I'm teaching. I believe that students learn a lot more and retain information more effectively when they are actively engaged in the learning process. That can be a bit harder to do in an online class, but I do try to work Socratic elements into my forums and written assignments. About me, my name is Ken Hicks. I'm an Army brat. I grew up mostly on Army bases in the South. I earned my master's degree and my PhD from the University of South Carolina. And I have been working here at Rogers State University since 1999, so I'll be completing my 20th year at Rogers State University this semester. I'm also the department head of History and Political Science, which means that I'm around quite a bit. So if you have any concerns or questions, please feel free to stop by. I'm happy to see you. I believe in the mission of public higher education to provide affordable college degrees to everyone with the drive, discipline, and ambition to earn a degree, regardless of your income level or your parents' income level. A college degree remains the surest pathway for Americans into the middle class and beyond, and I believe as passionately in what I'm doing today as when I started. Everything that I've said in this introduction is contained in the electronic copy of the course syllabus. Again, there's a link on the taskbar on the left side of your course site. The syllabus also contains a tentative course schedule, which you can consult to see when assignments are due. If I move a due date, it will generally be backward, and I'll put an announcement up. Let me emphasize to each of you, you will get out of this course what you put into it. If you work hard, you will learn a lot about how our governments work and sometimes appear not to work. I do hope you enjoy this class, and I hope we learn a lot together. Let's have a great semester.